Yo. Can we talk about just how sick chapter 14 of Kagurabachi was? Can we please just sit here and talk about how sick this was? Because obviously the color page is outstanding. While it may not be to your taste, I always love simplicity. And with that same simplicity comes a lot of detail to this color page, right? From the facial expressions to the abilities of the blades fostered in the background, bro. I love it. I love it. It's so simple. Just looking at it, I can't help but get hyped. And then not to mention the awakening of CHIHIRO, which if you guys know that this awakening is happening here, you know what's going on the other side of the battlefield, correct? Shred. We'll get into detail about the blade later, right? We'll get into detail about Inten and all of that. And then not to mention Char. We had to help her. But the most important part, and you guys are probably gonna disagree with me here, and that is the conversation between him and his dad. I told you guys, just his father in general has some of the most interesting like lore in this entire thing, right? Because everything starts and ends with him. The conversation that they had really made me turn and look like even crazier than I thought I was going to. And before we even go any further, I got like 4 Kagurabachi videos planned for the week. You guys are gonna be seeing them. I have to go over the interview and the details about the interview that was done by the editor-in-chief, Nakano, over at Jump. Very important. The stuff that happened at Jump Festa, which I talked about in a video, I don't know, it's gonna pop up somewhere around here, right? It's gonna be on the screen somewhere, and a card should pop up. If you guys wanna check that out, make sure you do that, because like I said, bro, I got a bunch of videos coming out. And after reading this chapter, I'm going to go into detail in a video about CHIHIRO's blade, right? Like Inten. I said I was gonna talk about it earlier, but I'm gonna put it in a video. Trust me, I got a lot of lore and all of that stuff coming really soon, right? Really soon. But if you guys are new to the channel and have yet to subscribe, man, why haven't you done it yet? Come on, man. I've been pushing the Kagurabachi agenda since day one. And when I tweeted about it, I got made fun of. And you guys will reap what you sow. No bullshit. Yeah, man, hit that subscribe button. Y'all already know the type of time we are. The Kagurabachi God, leader of the Hive. That's me. Me and like Dynamic Weeb, right? Me and Dynamic Weeb, as far as YouTube go, we be pushing the living out of the Kagurabachi agenda, and hell yeah. Me and him are gonna link up and make some videos on Kagurabachi. Don't get it twisted. It's some that I got planned for us. Dynamic Weeb, if you're watching this, bro, trust. I am devising different video types at this very moment. But anyways, let's jump into this video, because like I said in the previous video, which should be popping up somewhere on the screen here, we dove into what Kunishige meant by the true realm of the enchanted blades, right? The sword essentially goes according to the will of the user beyond the reason it was originally forged. So obviously it's not like a god weapon, you know what I mean? It's not like the end all be all, but it forms based on you and your will. I think that is so sick, because that just proves what I said in the last video, that the users were strong as in general. They were hella strong. And I really like that for Kagurabachi, because like I said, we see the fruits of that labor with CHIHIRO, and we're more than likely also gonna see the fruits of that labor with Sojo, depending if my hypothesis about that is correct, in him still not understanding the blades, but like him producing like a weak version of what we think it's gonna be, you know what I mean? Our 2 main goals once we got to the castle, and this was said by Mr. Shiba, 1, rescue Char, and that was obvious, right? Char is the #1 priority. That's the reason we here. Let's get in, get out, and call it a day. And 2, which has a shit ton of importance, not just for us coming to get Char, but also just for the overall story in general, getting more information on the Hishaku in Shinichi. The Hishaku info is really important, tying into the Rakuzaichi, or, you know, the auction. And correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I think Shinichi is one of the blades, and that's what the auction's for. But once we entered the base, bro, that's when I was just like, either A, we're gonna get into some bullshit trouble and we're gonna have to run, or 2, CHIHIRO's gonna get hurt even more and Mr. Shiba's gonna have to come to our rescue. But it was more of 1 than 2. So once we got into the base, we heard what they were gonna do to Char, and I'm not gonna lie, bro, it was a bit unsettling. And you could see it on CHIHIRO's face, right? You could read that as well. Like, it was unsettling. Like, hearing that they were just gonna like experiment on her more and more, it never sits well with me, and it pisses pisses me off to a degree because I'm like, bro, the fact that you guys are willing to do this to a child is crazy in itself. And CHIHIRO being the Batman that we know him to be, I love the silent assassin entrance because it just feels right with Kagurabachi. I think it's cool as hell and it fits CHIHIRO to a T. Unfortunately, CHIHIRO is attacked by an assassin who was lying in wait. We then flash to Mr. Shiba, who previously told CHIHIRO to stay as safe as possible. And if you run into trouble, get out of there. Unfortunately, Mr. Shiba runs into a bit of trouble himself, right? But let's be honest here, and we know this is the case. Mr. Shiba's gonna be fine. Mr. Shiba's gonna be fine because he was able to, obviously Mr. Azami was there as well, but if he was able to send shivers down Sojo, who is way stronger than these guys, if he was able to send shivers down his spine, then these two Weenie Hut Jr. motherfuckers are obviously not enough to put any fear in my boy. But the thing with this whole situation is like Mr. Shiba is operating under the pretense that CHIHIRO is injured and he can't go all out or really do too much without keeping an eye on CHIHIRO. That's like the crux of the situation for Mr. Shiba, but we know he'll pull through. We end up going back to see a young Char who looks like she is devoid of any fucking life in her eyes, bro. Like when you look at that shit, it looks like she's not there until she hears that CHIHIRO is there and like, boom, wakes up, bro. Because I wonder, at least to me, if there was any doubt in her mind that CHIHIRO was gonna come rescue her, because obviously she's been experimented on and experimented on and experimented on, and maybe that thought was there at the beginning and then it eventually just dissipated, you know? Now, as we go back to the setting where CHIHIRO was, we find out that the way that the guy found him, you know, the guy with the blindfold or whatever he was wearing, I kind of figured that this guy's ability was going to be that, because usually when you see this means that they lost their sight and their other senses are, you know, that much stronger. He ended up smelling the blood that was on CHIHIRO because he got into the battle with the other guards and maybe one of his wounds opened up because he got hit in the vitals, right? That was super unfortunate for that because I know CHIHIRO did not want to do any of this, you know what I mean? And then we jump right into the battle, bro. It's like CHIHIRO versus like 40 motherfuckers, bro. It's crazy. I'm bullshitting, obviously. It's like 6 or 7 guards, but like the fact that CHIHIRO was able to fend off these guys is insane, just due to the shape that his body is in, bro. And then this is where the real deal kicks in for the chapter, right? This is where shit starts getting real because inner turmoil to me always produces, at least from my basic shonen knowledge, like when you read a shonen, usually when there's inner turmoil, that means that it's going to produce some of the biggest growth for our protagonist, right? And luckily enough, that happens here, right? He's going through all the emotions, bro. Going through all the emotions. If I was at full strength, could I save her? Because he couldn't rescue her before, and that was plaguing him in the hospital. He's sitting there, the blade, Sojo and all of that, like stealing my dad's blade, and then everybody else got the blades and one's about to get auctioned off. I can't even rescue Char, who depended on me, who was really beginning to trust in me. I couldn't even rescue her. How am I supposed to do any of this? And then he said, I can't save anyone. That's when I was like, oh shit, it's getting deep. And then we go to the most important part, what I mentioned earlier, right? The conversation between him and his dad, and I love this because his dad, he lives in the moment. And CHIHIRO goes on to explain, like, I watch you working every day. The more I learn, the more I'm sure that I can never be like you. And he goes on to say, it's great that you're so serious about what I teach you and all. I appreciate that, but don't get too fixated. If you try to always follow in my footsteps, it'll be a waste that you were born as CHIHIRO Rokuhira. That sent a shock down my spine because what does that really mean? To me, it implies what stopped the war. I really think that CHIHIRO is the reason that the war stopped because, like Party Jams pointed out, the armistice happened 18 years ago. CHIHIRO just turned 18. This was all around the same time. And the significance of his birth might have been between two of the most important people in this entire thing. And that's obviously Kunishige, who we know is a god to these people. And then the mom, which we don't know anything about, but we can infer that she had to be somebody of relative importance, whether she is the leader of the Hishaku or she's like the daughter of one of them, right? Like the daughter of like a big shot or some shit in the Hishaku. This was big for us, like for us to theory craft and all of that. And he says something along the lines of like, you know, you got to find your own shape, right? You got to find your own shape. That goes back to the beginning when we learned about the realm of the enchanted blades, right? The change is in how the wielder uses the sword, the fortification of their body, the power of their will. It's about you finding your own way and basically telling the sword that's what you want. You're forging your own path through the sword. I think that is so sick. That conversation led to one of the coolest moments in this whole, basically the series, dude, because this shit was sick. It was so sick. Like, sure, we end up dropping back to Char and her losing all hope of anything. But peep this, right? We learn about what Inten has. It has 3 abilities, which we already knew. Nishiki, cloaking. That's him being able to like go into one of the fish, either escape or move at a fast pace. Aka, which is the red, that was the absorbing shit. When he absorbed the Daruma doll user, when he absorbed his explosion and shot that shit back. And then Kuro, that is for long range attacks. He evolved the ability of Kuro and called it Shred. Dude, when you look at this, it encompasses the whole area, bro. It's almost as if he put them in a fishbowl, bro. That shit is crazy. That shit is crazy. So this essentially entails that now that he has created a new ability for this, the possibilities of what Nishiki and Aka can become is fucking crazy. It goes beyond, funny enough, it goes beyond all logic and what we can generally think of in this situation. This was a great chapter, bro. This was such a great chapter because everything lined up the way that I thought it would, but it exceeded my expectations in the result of what the blade became. Just what he was able to do with that, being flexible and using his brain a bit, right? Like, be flexible, be open, and apply that to what your blade has, right? Like your blade abilities. I thought that shit was awesome. This chapter did a lot for me personally, and I'm pretty sure that it did a lot for you guys too, because we all have the same mindset almost, especially if you're a fan of the manga like me. Like when it comes to CHIHIRO, his mental, the story itself, and then opening up all these other opportunities for more information and cooler shit to happen, you know? I always take it with a grain of salt when I read other people's opinions on this, because I'm just like, dude, there's no way that you truly believe in your head that this shit is ass or it's bland, right? I genuinely don't believe that, because it's building the world, it's building the story, not at a fast pace to where things just fly off the rails, make no sense, and then you're like, okay, this was a shit show, right? It's not doing that. What it's doing is it's taking its time and giving us an amazing story. And shout out to Hokuzono Sensei, man. You're really writing a beast of a manga, bro. You're writing a beast of a manga, and I cannot wait for next week, because I'm pretty sure we're not going to continue on what happened here, but we're probably gonna jump to the other side to see what Sojo has to offer in regards to exploring the blade and expanding the abilities, you know? Truly love this chapter, bro. It was really, really, really good. Anyways, man, make sure y'all let me know how y'all felt about the manga. Was there anything that I didn't point out that you would have hoped for? Like I said, leave all that in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoy, subscribe if you're new. Video should be out Monday. I'm gonna be working on this at night, along with a slew of other Kagurabachi videos that I got planned, and hopefully I can line some things up, get some stuff done with a few people like Dynamic Weeb and company. So truly looking forward to where this goes. With that being said, man, it's your boy DomoSenpai, and I will catch you guys in the next video.